You endorsed Donald Trump last week. It's been about a week. How's that sitting?
Well, it could be better. Obviously, you've heard me disavow the comments regarding this judge. I don't think that those are appropriate comments by any stretch of the mind. Hopefully this is an inflection point. Hopefully a lesson will be learned here and we can move forward with a better campaign. That's my hope going forward.
Senator Sass, Hillary Clinton has called those racist comments. Do you agree?
No, I do think that those comments are racist comments. That's why I've disavowed them completely. What bothers me about the comments is it doesn't reflect who we are, what we think, or how we think as Republicans. It's antithetical to what we believe in our principles. And so hopefully he'll not only not continue to say these things, but learn from this and move forward and then offer the country a positive vision that's inclusive, that speaks to people's higher ideals.
Explain what that means. It's not what we believe. Because I think some people get confused about, they hear labels and all that. What to you is kind of
We believe in equality. We believe that the notion that someone's ethnicity or race affects the way they do their job is completely the opposite of what we believe. We believe in equality of opportunity. Look, the Republican Party was founded in a schoolhouse in Ripon, Wisconsin by abolitionists. Our first president was Abraham Lincoln. So we are the party of Lincoln, the party of Reagan, the party of equality, the party of upward mobility. And so that is what we think, that's what we feel. And so when comments run contrary to that, it's incumbent upon us as party leaders to call them out.
You're trying to sell an agenda, make a case for policies based on examination of evidence and that kind of thing. How do you do that while this is not the first time you've had to speak out about the nominee of your party?
Right.
How do you do those two things if you're constantly having to put out fires or address them in the way you just did?
Well, I'm kind of learning as I go. I believe in this job I have as Speaker of the House that it's important that I help unify our party so that we're at full strength in the fall so that we can win an election. And what I believe we in the House can help do are bring ideas to the table, bring an agenda to the table, bring a vision. And we're laying out our ideas starting today, 6 critical reforms that we call a better way, because we think we owe the country a choice of a better way forward. But when anyone in our party, at least especially our nominee, says things that run contrary to our beliefs, to our values, to our principles, we have an obligation to call them out. We have an obligation to not support those things because they don't define who we are. But what we hopefully can achieve is offering the country a clear agenda going forward. And I do believe, and the reason I did endorse him is because I believe this agenda has a far, far, far greater chance of being made into law to improve people's lives than it would be under President Clinton.
When I talked to Donald Trump last week about his agenda, he still talked about building the wall, deporting the 11 million undocumented immigrants, and this temporary Muslim ban. He comes into office, if he's elected, as you hope, he brings that to Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House. What do you say?
Well, I've been pretty clear about that. I obviously don't support the Muslim ban. I do not think we should have a religious test on people coming to this country. We should have a security test, but not a religious test. The reason I say that is as a conservative, because I believe in the First Amendment. I believe in religious freedom. I believe in religious liberty. It is one of the cornerstone principles of our country's founding. It's why people came here in the first place, but more importantly, it's the First Amendment of our Constitution. So I will steadfastly defend those principles. But there are also other policies and ideas that I know he will support, that I know he will advance. And the one thing I know for certain is Hillary Clinton won't help us support any of them.
You've talked to him. You've said that in coming to your support of him, it was based on these conversations. Did you have policy conversations? And if so, about what?
Yes, about all of these things. Look, I've spoken to him about the Muslim ban and how I disagree with it. About the deportation. I don't support that. He said, well, that's not part of our agenda. But I've spoken to him about our agenda that we're rolling out. How we balance the budget, how we grow the economy, what we replace Obamacare with, how we move people from welfare to work. What does a sound national security strategy actually look like? And so there's clearly more common ground here. There's more common principle than what we would have with the alternative. We have one of two choices this fall, as I see it. Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump. I know without a shred of doubt that Hillary Clinton will not support any of these policies or principles.
Do you give him any advice in these conversations?
I do. I give him probably more advice than he wants. But
like along what lines?
Well, look, I think personal conversations should remain personal, and I've made my points very clear on the kinds of comments. Look, I have spoken out in the past against comments that I think are wrong, that don't reflect our principles or our values as conservatives, as Republicans, as Americans, and I'll continue to do that. Hopefully, won't have to continue doing that.